this camera here adjusted for the bench a little bit better. Maybe. I think this one's got a little wider angle on it. Anyhow, we're back in here again today. As some of you know, I've had some issues as far as the electric, so we're kind of running on temporary power in here at the moment. Still got some pictures I got to get posted up on Facebook as far as some of the things that are going on, but we've got all the concrete's been taken out from out front here at the shop. We're going to have a new door replaced due to an unforeseen accident with the ground being soft and everything. So they removed about an 8-inch thick slab from out in front of here. Hey, good evening. So anyways, I've got this one here. It's just a kind of a quick repair. Nothing major going on with it, but I figured I'd go through this real quick with you guys and then go back onto the other project. It's one of those where I've been kind of doing it off and on a little here and there. Still got Bruce's 2x4 that we got to go through yet. I'd really like to have a whole day where I can be undisturbed on it. So that one's kind of been off to the side, especially with everything else that's been going on. We've got an add-on that's going on to the shop, so that'll help out as far as with my storage problem that I have, where I can actually kind of move around a little more freely in here. So, hey, good evening. Barbados, awesome. So what I've got here is a little Galaxy 2-pill. I believe these are built by Pride Electronics. What it is he wants a little more adjustment on the variable, so I figured I'd go ahead and open it up, take a quick look at it, see what we got going on. Like I said, I'm not sure here because the new camera, I haven't, other than just playing around with it. I'm still trying to get all the ins and outs here with this crazy thing. To get some movement here, so you guys will have to kind of bear with me. I still need to get some kind of a different kind of a mount as far as for the camera, but let's see here. Since I've got a remote, I can actually zoom in and zoom out now too, so that's kind of nice. You can see my belly. But anyways, that's probably part of the reason why I was having some issues here. I'll take a quick look here. Let me kill the power here to this. All right, so let's just try and figure out the whole angle thing on this thing. Hello, Charles. Hopefully everything's going good for you. I know you've been truck driving. So, yep. But anyways, you've been here. You've kind of seen part of the aftermath as far as that's going on outside the shop. Took you around to the side of the building and showed you, we're going to be doing an add-on to it. But yeah, I've been trying to get electrical lines fixed, and it's kind of in the middle of the rain right now, so I kind of had to take a pause for that. So like I said, I figured we'd go ahead and go through this here real quick. Let's see if we can get this turned around so we can get that in the camera without unhooking everything. All right, so I'm still going to wind up having to unhook this crazy thing to get it turned. All right. So what we've got is actually an actual not necessarily a variable power, but a variable attenuator, the way this is actually built. Oh, you're in Kansas now. Okay. Well, last time we talked, you were on your way back up to Richmond, Indiana. So you do get around. Of course, that is your job. But anyhow, this is, like I said, it's kind of a unique setup as far as what they've got going on. Because, like I said, it's a variable. They're using this instead of as a variable attenuator like we normally see wired. Well, I guess this is actually a variable attenuator as well. It's just a whole different format than what we typically use as far as in the CB world. Because of the way it's wired, your RF actually doesn't technically, you do get RF into it, but technically the RF isn't actually passing through this. It's just used to pull it down as far as for the carrier and stuff. So, like I said, just a little different design, but it's not quite doing what he wants. And I'll go ahead and I'll hook it up. I'll show you as far as what we're doing on the meters with it, just the way it is. And then we're going to go in and we're going to rewire this variable so that it actually functions the way the customer wants. So, pretty simple. Like I said, it's just a whole different version, I guess, is the best way to put it, than what most of us typically wire, and therefore it's going to act totally different. So let's just plug it back in. All right, so this, according to the little meter on the front, runs at about 14.6 as far as prior to key down. You're going to see this drop down to about 13.8, and part of that just has to do with the loss in the clamps. This is just a little test jig, test leads that I've got set up that I use for 1-pill, 2-pill applications, and for where this has actually got regular eyelets on it and stuff. So, but serves a purpose for the small stuff. When we get into the bigger stuff, we use different connections and all that going down to the power supply. All right, so I already got the power. Yep, I already got that on. All right, so let's go up here to the meters. Get the camera adjusted here. Like I said, I'm still trying to play around with location and all that stuff for the camera. But we're able to at least see the meter movements now. So let's go ahead and shut this off for the moment. We're going to look at the pass through. Got our 5-watt slug in reverse going back to the radio. Hello, 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 audio. So a little less than a tenth. So really good on that. Let's turn this around and I'll show you the dead key here. It's our 5-watt slug. So a little less than 2.5 watt dead key. All right. Keep forgetting this has also got pan on it. Or pan left and right. There we go. All the new features that I've got to get used to. All right, so 1,000-watt slug in 1X position for PEP, 500-watt slug in RMS, and our 5-watt slug in reverse going back to the 5,000-watt bird dummy load. All right, so let's turn the amp on. Okay, so we're dead keying approximately 100 watts. Hello, audio. Audio. So we got about 375 on the PEP. Audio. And about 250 on the RMS. Output reflect. Audio. About 3/10 input. Audio. So about 3 1/4. That we need to get addressed. So I know with what little I've already seen of it, because I looked at the tune and stuff, I'm not sure how much that's going to come down, because we're going to have to readjust that, but I'll get to that here in a second. But hello, audio. So that automatically drops it down from 3 down to 1 watt, just making one small adjustment. Hello, Popcorn, Jeremy. As far as all my electrical, unfortunately, where they were digging up the ground and everything, it's just far enough away from the building, but yet not. So, yeah, I've got 2 big gashes, one of which I wouldn't worry about at all if it wasn't for the fact that it also got one of my hot lines. You know, it nicked one of the hot lines. Well, nicked is in, about an 8-inch gash in it, and then the other one is the ground, which has only got maybe a 2-inch gash in it. So if it was just the ground, I'd just tape it and call it good. Being the other one, I've got to talk to a couple of people, since it is an underground variable. I got to find out which is my best method on that before I go ahead, because I really don't want to have to pull all new wiring to the shop. I really don't. But I'm going to talk to a couple of professionals that do that stuff for a living, and see what their recommendations are before we get into an outstandingly large expense, and a slowdown as far as for stuff that's going on here. So number wise, like I said, not doing too bad. Input, we do need to fix the input, and we're going to rewire this variable to go ahead and do what my customer needs. So, okay. A couple of them. All right, so let's get this undone here. We're going to rewire that variable, and then we'll take care of that input too and get it down. So let's get some of this heavy weight off of it, where I can flip it and to it. All right, so oh, that was the other thing I wanted to show. I'm sorry. Let's hook this back up real quick again. I was going to show you as the variable as far as what it's doing there. That way you guys can understand the actual customer complaint that he had. This is such a tiny little box. Yeah, compared to what I've been having here lately, yes. Definitely some hi-fi picks. All right, so We're just going to concentrate on those. All right, so the variable all the way up. It's probably going to be easiest if we concentrate on this one, since that's the 500 watt scale. So 100 watt dead key. And about 85. Yeah, about 85 all the way down. So back up and all the way down. So he's wanting a lot more adjustment than that. And just the way the attenuator is set up on this, it's not doing what he wants it to do. So, all right, so let's get this out of the way. We'll get the flip back over. You know, he wants to be able to take it down considerably lower than what it is. So hopefully everybody's had a great weekend or a great week so far. This will actually be my first official weekend from the new job. This will be my first official weekend off since I've been on nights. This is going to be too short for what we're doing, so we're going to have to make that a little longer. I've actually got one already started here. Hello, Bud Man. Yeah, I'm hoping this rain will hold off long enough. I know that they were wanting to try to pour Saturday. I don't know if we're going to have to wait till the following weekend or not to get that taken care of. As far as on the concrete, I was hoping to go ahead, and I haven't had a chance to find anywhere. I need to get some 1-inch bolts ordered for the hinge on the tower. That's something else that needs to be taken care of. I was hoping to get that done. That way I could go ahead and just get the pour done at the same time. Around here, they've got a minimum 3 yards for a pour. Granted, I don't think I'll need more than about a yard of concrete. Uh, Nothing like a little rain in Florida. I didn't realize that you traveled as well for your job there, bud man. Yeah, that's one of the few areas that I have yet to have been up into that I'd like to see yet. I'd like to go up into the Dakotas. I've got 2 or 3 things that I'd like to get done here in the next year or so. I've planned on, been trying to get out to see my buddy Luke out there in Idaho for the last 2 years, and well, with uh, the job change and stuff, that kind of screwed up some of my vacation time. And then I still want to try to make it to Sturgis one year. Of course, if I do that, I want to have about 2 weeks that I can be off and do some cruising down there through the Dakotas and look at like Monument Valley. Yeah, if I can get it spit out, yeah, Monument Valley and stuff like that. So. Okay. I know this is a different style of variable than what all the rest of us use, but I'm going to test it. And also, one of the things I'm not 100% sure that I'm liking, that's the reason why I went ahead and pulled this one out. Okay, so it doesn't appear to look like I thought it did. I don't know how well the camera's going to pick that up or not. We got lighting, and there we go. But looks like it's cracked just above my thumbnail. So we're going to go ahead and just replace that for good measure. And I'm knocking down labels and everything else. Set those off to the side. Doesn't matter which way it's turned. Okay. 109, close enough to 100 ohms. I figured that's what was getting used, but go. Fat head out of the way. All right, so let me grab a couple of resistors here, and then we'll get that wired up. We'll check it, and then we'll readjust that input tune. Working these nights, sometimes I don't even know what day it is. Still got a quote. I'm waiting to hear back on a couple of parts to make sure before I open mouth and insert foot on a amp build that we'll find out about. By the way, this particular amp is a 2879. It's just the regular standard 2879 transistors. And this little resistor here that I'm putting across there, it's 180 ohms. And the reason why I'm putting that one in there versus the way typically you're going to see most of these wired is because he kind of likes this to work like a modulator. So what that does is it just lets a little bit more of the RF leak back through into this, and essentially all it does is suppress it, suppress the actual carrier more so than it does anything else. Left Georgia and been wide open. Yeah, like I said, that's one of those places I'd love to go and see is Sturgis and Black Hills of the Dakotas. And I know there's several people that I know that's been on the pipeline and been here, done that. I thought about it years ago, and I get road rage too bad to be turned loose in an 80,000 pound rig. That would not be a pretty sight. My hat is off to any of you guys that do that for a living. Because for some reason, I don't know why, the people that cut you guys off, it's kind of funny because I don't think they realize that one day that one guy is going to get honked off. He's going to take 80,000 pounds of steel and fiberglass and shove it right up the rear end of that little Honda. I'm waiting to see and hear that on the news. Okay. See what that does before we start changing that input tune. I wish those leads were longer than like 6 inches. I guess I'm a little more generous with wire than some people are. Sadly, I've been looking at some of the cost of parts and this, that, and the other, and I'm gonna have to work on it going into November, December. I'm gonna have to take a week and do nothing but rework some pricing, just due to the natural cost of things. So unfortunately, there's going to be some changes there. I'll try to still keep the bench rate the same. All right. Let's see what that does for him. Off so I can see that part. Hello, audio. Audio. Okay, so it's not quite as slow as what we need. That's an easy fix. There you go, John. One P to 9. That's kind of an unusual second shift. I actually thought about, because I had the actual option to go to second shift, but their second shift hours kind of suck. You know, it was 2 to 10:30, which is not really all that bad. Of course, just being able to work 8-hour shifts again. God, I haven't done that for so many years. I was completely you know, mind fogged, and that's being very polite, obviously. Um, the first week that I did that, working for this new company, it just like I said, I just I just didn't know what to do. Come on, get in the hole. But yeah, we're gonna try to start doing a few more since I'm on the shift that I am on now, which is probably great for people on first shift, just because of the fact you'll be able to pop in for live feeds. This will probably be kind of a normal time frame for me, unless it's a weekend that I'm off. But you'll probably start seeing a few more, shorter runs. Hopefully, you'll see a few more as far as on video times and frames. That's kind of the goal, anyways, that I have. Yeah, I'm not sure where you're at, Dallas, as far as work, but yeah, uh, that's just like the company I'm working for now. I have never in my life worked at a more dangerous job, um, doing the kind of work that I do. I think that's going to work for him. Check that input again. Audio. Audio. Yeah, definitely going to have to make some changes there. Audio. 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 Maybe a little more. Let's roll that back. Yeah, sorry guys, that way I don't have to try to keep panning up and down. Yeah, yeah, that would be a very unusual job. Audio. Yep. So let's make another change here, and then we'll. So basically, we're changing the whole input, the way it's set up. Audio. 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 Okay. Oh, three's popped in there. I didn't even see him pop in. Yeah, I haven't been on long. Three. Hopefully everything's going good for you down there in the Carolinas. I don't think I've talked to you since the break. Of course, I know you've got a lot of rework that you've been doing down other things too. I think this input's going to be a little on the troublesome side. There we go. Audio. Audio. All right, so we're going to have to probably do a little more tuning on it. But the variable's working a lot better. Let's get up here to the meters here. Like I said, I figured we was going to have to make some other adjustments. I was hoping not. Like I said, it's still going to be a learning curve, guys, as far as on the whole camera thing. So please bear with me. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll start over here on the input. This is what we're down to. Like I said, we were at 3. Hello, hello, hello. Audio. Audio. So we got it down to 1 watt. Like I said, we're going to have to make some other adjustments on the input. to get that down a little bit more. But that key in 100 still. Hello, audio. Audio. And about the same output. Audio. About 250 on the RMS. Audio. About 375. So still not too bad. Like I said, we're gonna have to do some more adjustments as far as on that input and get that taken care of. So let's make an adjustment here. Go back and look at that variable and see how the variable is working now. Audio. That's about as good as it's going to get, I think. So we're probably going to have to do some other changing. Still have to do quite a bit manually. But the variable's working more like what the customer wants. Get down a little lower. Audio. So let's turn the spectrum analyzer on. Let's see what it's doing there. Okay. All right. So my principal frequency that I'm using is 27125. Try to get it all in the same view here. Let's see what's going on here. Hello, audio. All right, so we've got some harmonics, and that's what's causing the input issue. So we need to get those down, get that taken care of. Hopefully you guys can see that. That's as far in as she zooms. So it looks good on key up. Audio. So the second and third harmonics is what's actually causing us the issues that we're having. Low battery, so we're gonna have to plug that in here in a few minutes too. All right, so let me turn the amp off. And this is the radio. Audio. So we know that the radio is not causing harmonics. All right, so that means we've got to rework the input. All right, guys. Well, sadly, it's going on 8 o'clock. I still have to get cleaned up. I got to get some lunch in me, or dinner, breakfast, whatever we want to call it. And then we'll come back and I'll work on this tomorrow when I get home, or tomorrow evening when I get up. And we'll get that input. We'll get that input laid down. That way we can put the cover on this, get it out the door, and go to the next project. Big L, I haven't forgot you, big guy. I have been working on yours. It's sitting over here in the corner, here on the workbench. Zoom out. So, got the hi-fi done. Still haven't found the one major thing that we're trying to get taken care of on your project, which has to do with the fluctuating frequency counter. I don't know if it's an RF issue that we're dealing with, that's getting back into the circuit. But you know, like I said, I've been kind of working on that in between, off and on. But I got the hi-fi mods all done for you, so that's all taken care of. The other receive mods done. Now it's just, you know, the little pill stuff. We'll get this done hopefully here. Like I said, this is going to be a crazy week along with next week because we're still trying to get everything taken care of outside. Like I said, I've got some pictures. I'll try to get those posted up here in just a few minutes as well. I've got a quote I've got to give for an amplifier, so still pretty busy as far as just trying to get everything in on time. So, all right, guys, I appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed popping in here with a quick visit for me. We'll catch you on that next live feed. Take care. God bless.